All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I'm gonna make a quick EV video here, looking at Rivian, as you see, Lucid, and Crown Electra, something like that. Rivian. Hey, I always say I am a lot louder about my mistakes than my good calls. I got Rivian wrong. I thought the news that came on this candle. Truth be told, I don't really remember the news at this point, but I remember I liked the news. I remember I liked that big 100 million plus volume. I remember thinking good things were going to happen. Clearly they didn't right here. I'm glad we've recovered well, and I'll talk about what I think for sure, but yes, 100% I got the last video wrong. I bit the PR apple, and I think that's look, I'm never here to say fundamentals are worse than technicals, vice versa, or whatever, right? I just sincerely, but look, I like to make fun of my intelligence. I really do. And I like to say this, like, I am so dumb that it's just easier for me to say broke a line or didn't break a line. You know what I mean? Like, you're either over the line or you're not. There's very little gray area in something as basic as that. You know what I mean? But with PR, I'm telling you, I saw the 100 million. I think it was like $1 billion headline. I forgot what it was. If you remember it, please put it in the comments. But, man, it happened to me so many times in the early days without my technical stuff. All right. The next one I want to look at is a little bit on the sad side, is Lucid. We are now at and under my death line. Okay, I see what looks like a really nice channel between the 20 and the 50. Okay, and most of the time I would say red, really good NASDAQ, this and that. But man, I'm a little worried that we're this low and we've been under the death line for pretty much the entire month, right? So I'm a little 50-50 on that right there. And then CRKN. So I know I saw someone, there was a Twitter comment on this thing when it started to make a move, and yeah, I don't even think I want to cover this thing too much, man. I will. All right, I will, but you know what? Let me show this real quick. Let me show this. There was a new person that just joined, and the comment was, I can't afford that at the moment, because the conversation was essentially about him looking at micro, or her, I actually don't know, but looking at micro caps and this and that. Look, I one share of a $50 stock and 50 shares of a dollar stock are the same $50. And I swear it wasn't that long ago, $200 a buy was a lot of money for me. It was, I was making 14 bucks an hour. I was some nobody, right? Like, dude, I did not have a lot of money. I did not know what to do with it. And I was doing a lot of buying 50 shares of the dollar stock because, it seemed like this was the better move. It's the same money. And I know that this looks like a dirty steal and it looks like you're getting some sort of company at like pennies on the dollar, but like you're below all. I'm going too deeper than I wanted to. I'm never here to tell you buy, sell, hold, but don't let the price of a stock dictate where you put your money. Let the setup do it. You know what I mean? But hey, when the volume, it's not, I don't know. I try not to be subjective when I'm looking at these. I feel like I'm gonna be way too subjective, and I swear I'm not gonna try to offend anyone. All right, let's just go through. Oh man, but hey, before we do go any further, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we gonna do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So, again, I started the video with it. I'm going to say it one more time just in case you fast forward. I got this moment so wrong on my last video, all right? I don't exactly remember what the headline was. If you do and you can put it in the comments, I'd much appreciate it. But I remember seeing this 100 million plus volume right there. What was it actually? Almost 120 million shares, right? Big gap up, big wick that kissed the top of all 5 moving averages. I mean, I remember reading it. I remember making the video, and I remember saying, oh, this thing seems ready. Looked like the MACD was getting ready to go into the positive. RSI was a real healthy 60 something. Oh my goodness. It just seemed like it was primed. But you know what? I always stress wait for confirmation. I did not wait for confirmation. I always stress that dojis are crazy uncertainty and you got to wait for the next one to say the truth. I did not do that, right? So I say things on my video all the time. Believe me, it's way easier to say it. It's way easier to type it on replies and stuff. But yeah, sometimes I'm just a human and oh man, sometimes I bite the apple a little too hard. So I bit the PR apple right there for sure. All right. I'm super glad to see a couple things, right? I don't even think I would brag about this line right here. The moving averages did the job, right? It did its very best to escape it. Clearly it couldn't. And man, that's a devastating red candle right there. It's an 80 million share traded, very bad candle. We not only lost that full candle, we lost all of that and almost half of that right there, right? So very devastating single move. But man, moving averages did the job. And hey, obviously all of these were way under, but look, doji never counts as confirmation, right? So that's not confirmation, and then blah blah, all of a sudden we're back to where we're at right now, right? So very cool reversal, very cool to see the moving averages do their thing. And really, I think a lot of it was just a good timing of NASDAQ goes up, NASDAQ comes down. It was around the 18th where it starts to recover. I'm kind of seeing that same thing, give or take, with Rivian, right? It at least allowed it to doji instead of lose all five and die and recover and go, right? So Rivian, some nice little technical things happening here. At this point, look, I'm going to be real honest with you. I think I got to go back and say I'm still liking what I'm liking, right? I think that this Wednesday candle was probably the more important one because I'm glad, look, obviously it got over the 200 moving average, and normally that's what I would talk about, right? But I'm glad this candle closed over the big day, right? I'm glad that that's a big beat of it as well, right? It's not like we closed just over it, right? Like that's a nice little beat. From there, we did get over the 200 moving average. We see a very interesting doji the next day, right? So look, Friday was a short trading day. Some people thought it should have gone. Some people thought it shouldn't. They just decided, let's just stay where we were. And again, well over the actual PR day, clearly well over 50% of the Wednesday candle, and obviously still over the 200, right? So look, Rivian at this point is all about that 100 moving average around 1266. I think I can lower this line. I like that. I think 13's our money line. I think if this breaks 13, I think there's a real good shot at 1550 for Rivian. Where are we on the weekly? Oh man, that's a good line. Yeah, for sure. If we can get over 13, that will put us over both that 20 and the 50 moving average. I will say this weekly chart is it's a lot uglier. It really is, right? Man, I'm just zooming out and look at our struggling with the 50, struggling with the 50, struggling with the 50. Like that is not going to be an easy 13 line. I think that daily looks a lot better than the weekly. And I think seeing this, I need to adjust myself. Listen, that's not going to be an easy break. I actually would not touch Rivian until it got over 13, take it up there to 15 something. That's a little bit more than 20% if I'm doing some math quick in my head. I can see the fall being about 12 even. Maybe 1130. Let's see if I can find a better line here. No, yeah, I think it's 1160. I think if it's going to come down, it should be 1160. It looks like the 8 moving average is still coming up, so hopefully that's what's going to catch it. All right, yeah, wait for 13. I think the last thing I'm going to say, and I'll probably echo it across the other two, EVs are not doing as well as other tech like sectors, despite the strength and the all-time high of NASDAQ. And to me, I think it makes sense. I think in the EV market, it's become so saturated. There are big names, there are little names, and I mean, there are clear market share winners, losers, and everything in between, right? Other sectors, quantum computing, AI, nuclear, the aviation stuff like Joby and Archer, and you know, there are some interesting new tech stacks. Wow, that was hard to say. Some interesting new tech sectors that don't have a clear winner yet. And I think that's why those are taking off. Look, I live in LA. I see a bunch of Rivians all over the place. They actually look really cool. The problem is I don't really know what prices are, and I don't know. It's just this is a saturated market, and there are clear winners and losers. And trying to gamble on the next one to be the next Tesla or whatever, it becomes harder, right? It's no longer that even playing field that it was back in the day, right? When we saw those. Oh, this is a bad chart, but we've seen the monster EV runs. You know what I'm talking about. And again, those were in the early days when things were just a lot more uncertain, a lot more who's gonna win. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, otherwise, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. I feel like the next two are going to be a little bit quick here. But no, let's give them the time that they deserve. Okay, lucid. I don't know what to focus on. Okay, because normally when you watch my videos, you hear me say if you can break the 20, you're gonna go to the 50, and the 20 is all the way down here, and the 50 is all the way up here with a beautiful red, red, red. I mean, this is most days I would say a lovely, lovely setup. Okay, I have more concerns than optimism as I'm looking at this, and it starts with the death line. All right, let me just zoom out real quick and let's just zoom out. Yeah, you can see it. There is nothing below the death line. This is the start of the black hole vortex that eats all your money away, that everybody tends to just call all-time lows. It is a black hole vortex, okay? And it's a dangerous place to be. We've been here for a little bit more than a month now, it seems, right? Today's the 29th, and I'm seeing that we were down here on the 31st, right? So it's tough. And really, this doji, I don't know if I should be excited from it or scared from it, but I'll say this much. If we can get over 230, I think that there is a good chance of coming up to 270. Otherwise, if we lose 212, all right, if we lose 212, I imagine this is going to lose 20%, then another 20%, then another 20% until for whatever reason something ends up saving it, because that is what the all-time lows black hole vortex does. It just eats and eats and eats your money, all right? We haven't necessarily confirmed the loss of this, right? Bad candle, no confirmation. Bad candle, no confirmation. Bad candle, no confirmation. Bad candle, no confirmation. Bad candle, definitely not good enough. And then, hey, decently green from here, right? So on the technical side, we have not confirmed that loss. That's why I'm at least willing to say, hey, if we can break this, we'll get over it. I just don't know if this is now too crippling a wall and we won't get over it and it's just going to reject us back down, you know? Volume isn't fantastic. It's near the line for sure, but we're seeing tech stocks destroy the line, and that's not even close here. MACD is still negative, and really, RSI is basically going down. No, I guess just from here, but yeah, it's going down. I'm not liking the RSI. Most tickers, I'm saying we can ignore the RSI because it's too hot. This one's still pretty ugly to me. So lucid, I am not a fan here. I am not. All right. Let me know if you see otherwise. I can for sure be wrong, right? I'm just some dude here, right? But I think as I look at the weekly, I like my thoughts more. Again, I don't know the math here, but I'm assuming that the 8 moving average will probably come around that 230 line. Again, if you can get over that line, get over the 8 moving average, you got a good shot at coming up to those ones. So I really wouldn't touch this under 230. If it can get over 230, there's a decent shot to move up. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Okay. I feel like I did not do the best of opening thoughts on this one. And I swear, I'm never here to make fun of a stock. I'm never here to bash a stock. I'm never here to tell you what to do with your money, okay? The one thing you always hear me say is bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. You will always hear me say, if you can break above and you can break all 5, you will fly. If you lose all 5, you will die. Okay, and all this stock has been doing is living under the 8 moving average, occasionally trying to test the 20, only once back in October, trying to kiss the 50. Okay, I see the volume, and you know I always say volume is king. But believe me, we start up here for a reason. If you can't get over the 8 moving average, nothing matters, okay? I see this green candle and I see this green candle. These are both bad candles, All right, what is that? Not all good is equal. If I win a $3 scratcher and I win a $30 million scratcher, can you imagine which one's the good and which one's not the good? You can, right? This day opens, look in the line over there, it opens at 90 cents and it falls all the way to 80 cents. More people lost 10%, right? That lost more than 9 cents. That lost 10 cents. More people lost 10% than made any money right there. Same with this day. This candle opens up here at 33 and then falls all the way down to 28. That is a lot more than a 10% loss right there, actually, right there. That's almost pushing 60% because you lost the first three and then another two. Roughly speaking, 7 cents is 10%, right? So you lost five. So both, there is good and bad good. These are both bad good. And hey, this day clearly closes down here under the 8. And hey, this day is still way too low and still well into our death line to just think anything, you know? Look, red could become a green all the way up to there for sure. I just personally think there is way better trading. The market is so hot. There is no reason to be looking at anything under all five, all right? And I'm gonna show this one more time, and let's just see if I can go back. Look, the comment was you like micro caps, right? And just says I can't afford at the moment. It's just self-taught. Number one, yo, I learned everything ugly and self-taught as well, all right? It takes time and it's not quick, but believe me. Oh, I didn't read this comment. I'll read that after. But look, I'm never here to tell you what to do with your money. I'm never here to say buy, sell, hold. I'm always here to tell you to raise your criteria for a stock and for yourself. Don't tell me you can't afford. If you're going to trade the money and the setup, not what you can afford. And hey, look, I was there. I really was there. I bought so many weed stocks back in the day instead of buying Amazon because Amazon was around $200 at the time. And I was like, whoa, what am I going to do? Let me just get 200 shares of a dollar stock, right? And lo and behold, my life would have been completely different if I was doing that, right? So it's not about what you can afford. It's about where you want to put your hard-earned money. No one's handing me paychecks, right? I wake up, I'm dealing with people and I'm emailing, I'm doing this on the side, I am grinding, right? Like I work hard for my money. A stock better work hard to earn my money too. And hey, to me, you gotta at least get over the 8 and the 20. All right. So again, I'm never here to say buy, sell, hold, but I think you kind of get my opinion on this thing. Truth be told, all I see is a stock in all-time lows. All I see is the black hole vortex eating 20%, then eating 20%, then eating 20%. Every now and then, for sure, we'll go too far from the 8 and come back to the 8. We'll go too far from the 8 and come back to the 8. We'll go too far and we'll go too far and come back up. But it's not always like that. Sometimes we go too far and we just kind of stay horizontal till we're there and then we lose it again. You can say that's actually what happened right there too, right? So just be careful. Raise your expectations, all right? Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if there's some news or there's something that I'm missing, right? But yeah, the technicals are not saying good things. I appreciate you all so much.